11th house, and I'll be more specific about what that means, but I want to clarify when I say Virgo, Libra. Again, it has to do with social consciousness, a very strong capacity for friendships. Libra says many friendships. Virgo says loyal friendships. You may or may discard friends here, friends there, but you have a few that you are very loyal to and are very important to you. You have a capacity for a large group of friendships. And you have a capacity to be very loyal and very honorable in a friendship. You have strong goals, and having Libra in the 11th house tells me that you're going to have a lot of love received, and that ain't too bad. A lot of love received, and that's nice. And you're going to be rewarded from your professional status, whatever you choose to do. And this is nice, because in the 10th house we talked about ambition, promotion, and achievement, and here in the 11th house we have rewards from your professional choices and ambitions. I haven't mentioned this before, but maybe I have in a very ambiguous way, but it's very strong here, and I like to refer to it being that you have many friendships, many people are important to you. You also are not an egotist about this. You have very important humanitarian goals and interests. You will do something for your community or for people around you on a totally esoteric humanitarian level. Money and earning power is important to you? Yes. And it's for you? Yes. But you're a very humanitarian person. You're a very giving, caring person. And you have a tremendous emotional attitude towards friends. Now, when I say on a non-emotional level, I don't mean that you're not an emotional person or they're good in emotions. But when I say humanitarian, I mean a non-emotional thing where you will take care of or deal with or have an interest in something on a non-emotional level, but on a certain humanitarian level. And you are better at friendships that are non-emotional. It doesn't mean you can't have emotional, deep, intense relationships, but you just happen to be better at ones that aren't too emotional. For whatever reason, that's okay. You can learn from this and do the other if you would like. In the 12th house, we have a triple Libra. And this has to do with your unconscious mind. And this is what I'm talking about, the spirituality that will come to you later on in life somehow, because you lack it now. It's the unknown or hidden strengths. See that word again, unknown or hidden strengths or weaknesses that you might have. Secrets that you have been keeping. Seclusion. And there are some hidden dangers. If you talk about your fears, there will no longer be hidden dangers. And that has to do with your planets and houses, and it has to do with your unconscious mind. It has to do with the superconscious, the closeness with a higher universe type of thing. And that, I think, will come later on in your life. I want to talk now a little bit about, I mentioned some of the houses. Sun, you have a tendency to be harmonious, sometimes a little trouble with being tactful, and it's in your 12th house. Secrets, confinement, and limitations. You think you're more open and honest than you really are. Honest, yes, but open, sometimes you seem to hide a lot of that. In your moon, we have the emotional, instinctive type of things. They're very imaginative, tremendously analytical, and meticulous. It has to do with friends, objectives, and associations. Mercury, which is intellect, communicative, and educational. Education should be very important to you. In Mercury, you're harmonious, need to be tactful, cooperative. Again, there's words, secrets, confinement, and limitations. And in Mercury also has to do with changes. and the changes in your life are, as I said, we see Libra in there. There are going to be a lot of changes. You, again, we mentioned this before in the tape, that you look forward to. You're interested in change. Venus in your chart has to do with how you look at love and relationships. These are intimate relationships, interpersonal relationships, marriage or girlfriend type relationships. And here we have loyalty. You don't, you're very cautious on a very loving, intimate relationship. You're very cautious of who you go out with. And you kind of play hard to get on the closer ones because you're looking, you're thinking, you're judging. But once you have given yourself to somebody, you're very loyal. Sometimes you're too analytical and too meticulous. You might not go out with somebody because they have a stain on their blouse, and you have to be very careful about accepting others the way they are. And you need a woman who has a career and a reputation. That's important. Prestige is very important, who you select as far as who you're with. Remember, it's very important how others see you. So you need to see this person that you're going out with as someone with almost a meticulous reputation, one that's career-orientated and sees herself as a very important person to herself, and a very giving and sharing person. Mars in your 11th house, friends, objectives, harmonious, tactful, and cooperative. Jupiter, where we see where you're enthusiastic, idealistic, you're ambitious, orderly, prudent. These are the tendencies that you have. And it has to do with how you deal with your brothers and sisters, if you have them, how you communicate with your mind. We have Saturn. Saturn is a very important planet. It's one of the biggest. And Gemini is there where you're versatile, flexible, and I see you as a very inquisitive person. And you're going to wind up with money somewhere here. I don't know how you're going to get it. You're going to earn it, borrow it, get it, marry it, somehow, but you're going to wind up with some money anyway. We have Uranus, we have Libra in your 12th house. These are, what I mentioned before, but these are dark, deep secrets, things you don't want people to know about yourself. Almost a fear of a fear. If they found out about these things, they wouldn't like me. Chances are they would. And chances are they wouldn't haunt you or affect you if you could talk them to appropriate people. In Neptune, there are tendencies to be extensive, free, demonstrative. It has to do with your finances, professions, values, although they do change. Again, how important people, that reputation, how they see you as your reputation are very important. And if you have any questions about your chart, I wish you'd ask me. And, as a part of this chart, free of charge, I'll be glad very much to talk some of these things a little bit with you. You benefit very little effort in loving relationships. Love seems to come to you, and that's kind of nice. You may not want it, you may want it, but it will come easy to you. You are a very compassionate person. You're very devotional, very loyal. Sometimes you are a little compulsive and a little too in one way you're too compulsive, and in other ways you're too cautious. And I think I'm not going to even bother to explain it. I think you know more about that than I do, because it's taken me a long time to explain. And I'm not a Libra, but I think it's pretty more easy to understand. There's a certain part of you that's very cautious and disciplined, and there's another part of you that's very compulsive and independent. And it's kind of interesting. As long as you have them both working together in harmony, which you need, it's going to be all right. If they work in opposites, you'll find yourself very disquieted, and I don't see you that way at all. You are a very cautious, disciplined person around a lot of intellectual things. Around buying things, I'm not too sure. But investing things is something that you need to get a hold of, because your future really depends on what you accumulate accumulate now, which you save now, which you invest now. You're right now investing in your future by doing any studying that you possibly can do. You're investing. You're the type of person who needs to even go out when you don't even feel like going out sometimes. It doesn't mean you have to compulsively go out and always be with people, because your alone time is very important to you. But you're always learning from people. You're always learning from places and things. That's, again, why short trips are very important to you, because you're always doing that. Some of the subjects you're taking now that you say are a pain in the neck and not even worth even bothering with will be things that you will learn to use from now, because you have a memory that doesn't forget a lot of these things. They all become a part of you. You're a very mind person. You have to be a little concerned about change of attitude. You can say goodbye to somebody, and I'll see you in a couple of hours, and they're looking forward to seeing this nice, friendly, compassionate person. By the time they get there, your mind has changed, like the weather can change. So that's something you have to just look at a little bit. You do change your mind quite a bit. And your mind works like the weather. Sometimes you can be pleasant and clear and precise and pristine. And sometimes you can be in turmoil with thunder and lightning. So when you think of an air sign person as you are, you have to think of, what makes the weather. What's the weather like? Now, the weather is beautiful, the weather is the weather, but the weather, especially around here, changes very rapidly. My guess is that you would be better off in a more conducive climate to that, which would be like a warmer climate, a more steady climate. That would steady you around, too, if you could possibly do that, or if you'd want to do that. It would be neat. Another thing I'd like to mention too is that you have to watch watching what you learn now, because your endings seem to be you're on a journey of a very learning. Learning is going to be always an important thing in your life. And I just like to just leave this off now. And if you do have any questions, please give me a call. My name is Dan Bretter. My telephone number is 389-6764. And I will be glad to meet with you. If you know of anyone else who'd like a chart, please let me know too. And I'd like to say it's been very nice meeting you and knowing you. And by knowing this chart, I do know you. And I think you have a lot of very positive, strong things to look forward to, especially around friends, companionships, and investments in the future will come true because you've made them now. That's financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Get a lot of exercise. You need to do that to deal with your emotions. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope this has been most beneficial for you. It's certainly been interesting for me.